So, I am having to record this on behalf of the situation that is currently happening, that has been happening for maybe about like 4 to 5 months now and hasn't stopped. So, now I have to record this and get it out there. So, hello, my name is Noli. I'm 13 years old, and you probably know me from either the Vanilla Kingdom server, the docs from that server, or you're either just friends with me, you just know me. Like, we're not enemies. So, my mental health has declined to an extremely low point, and I'd like to apologize for what I've done and how I've acted. I really only wish to make friends and never knew what joining that server would do to me and my mental health. So, a long time ago, joined the server, a little back over a year and a half ago, on May 10th, 2025, but unfortunately got banned a few weeks later after I joined because my friend sent me some troll message in my DMs, and because I was 12 years old at the time, I didn't really know better. So I sent it in the server, and shortly after, just got banned. They thought I was a hacker of some sort or whatever. That's why I got banned, because it was like, oh yeah, if you this is a Discord moderated message or whatever, and the thing that said dismiss, it would send you to like this Rickroll video. So yeah, it was only just like for I didn't really know better. It's just stupid. So, we had a previous owner before the before Fount. Their name was Sky, and Sky I'll just keep explaining. So, Sky DM'd me. I told Sky what I had done and why I most likely got banned. Sky talked about it with staff, and it was literally what I said that I did. So, shortly after, got unbanned, invited back to the server because I agreed to never do it again. But yeah, after that, it went pretty well. Like it was so chill there. It was fun. It was nice, and it kind of declined a bit after Sky transferred the server over to Fount, as Sky was under a lot of stress and pressure and had too much on her plate, so she handed it over to Fount. Maybe one of the best times in the server, I don't know. New rules were added a while after the server was transferred to Fount, which made some people leave because of the no cursing rule, which, how is that a rule if everyone in the server, including the server owner, just uses slang like Lamau, which literally, no joke, means laughing my ass off. My opinion, that rule should be gone and not there. Because if you're gonna break your own rules, then it's most likely that you remove the rule. Because, yeah. Oh my gosh, I'm stupid. But, anyways, I got really low in my emotional mental health because of a person in a GDC, like a group chat that I used to be in, and they would constantly purposefully bring me and my other friends down, like Sage, Inky, all those people. They would constantly bring us down on purpose and make us like have really bad mental issues. Later on, they would send photos of them being supposedly raped, but later on I like looked at the photos and yeah, no, that really pissed me off. They were lying about it, and not only that, it was them touching themselves. They didn't even put a spoiler on it either. They would constantly fake being kidnapped, raped, sexually assaulted, tons of crazy shit. And as of now that I know, they have made over tons of alt accounts, and are now at the moment in the Vanilla Kingdom server and not banned. They made a new account for like the 5th or 4th time just so they could get away from all the allegations and shit. That's not cool. Yeah. So after a long time of them doing that shit, I just got sick of it, and I wanted to take a break from the server and Discord and talking, which, no, that didn't work. I was too scared to be abandoned, lose my friends, get removed from the server somehow, be replaced. I felt really left out because every time I would go to take a break, that person would come back into the group chat and start venting and talking about stuff, and that made me feel really guilty and bad about myself because I couldn't be there for them when I was taking that break, which is why whenever I wanted to take a break, I couldn't. It was constantly, well, you're gonna mess up if you're not there for your friends. if you're not there for your friends, then what are you then? You're a bad friend. You're a fake friend, which is why whenever I said that I would take breaks for my mental health, I couldn't. It was too hard. I would I would try, but it was still that reminding guilt over me that if I'm not there, I'm a bad person. So, yeah. So I joined the server on an alt account to make sure that I'm not missing out on anything important, because if anything were to happen to my friends or to the server, I wanted to be there for them. I don't want to just leave them in the dust like that. That hurts. And oh my gosh, I'm kind of crying right now, but because I loved everyone there, I guess you could kind of see me as the server's silly ray of sunshine that bites ankles. Oh my gosh. So, after a while of being there, I would join back and talk for a bit on my main account to check up on everyone without revealing my alt because I'm so freaking devious and weird. I don't know. I'm just weird like that. Maybe 2 weeks pass and I decide, yeah, let's just reveal my identity, and it pissed off some of my friends, which I didn't mean to do because I just wanted to be there, and I'm so attached to everyone, and the server too, which I loved it there because I met most of my really close friends there. That's what has brought me here today. That's what makes me the person I am today. Like, if it weren't for them, I wouldn't have met some of my friends that are still with me. So, a while before all this, I got in trouble on August 21st when I turned 13 because I was underage and I didn't tell my age before, which I do apologize for. It was also very weird because I was just me and I would say stuff like, I'm gonna kick or punch you to China, or I'm gonna bite your ankles. Which I get that is very weird and it's Nilly like, but I don't intend any of that stuff to be insulting or racist at all. I just mean to be playful and silly and be myself. I never meant to insult anyone or come off as racist. But I was normally used as an errand boy for Fount when they had to take breaks, meaning I was going, whenever they went to go take a break, I would be the main caretaker of the server, like keeping it active, being sure no one's breaking rules. I was, no joke, the most active person there, which is why they made me Sir Nilly the Errand Boy. But even after all I've done for the server, I was never hired as a mod or admin, despite me being the one keeping that server alive. Like, technically, I was kind of like an owner of the server, but not. Like, I had no staff roles. I even helped with advertising the server and promoting it all the time. And even reacted to apply to be staff message, but even after I tried to apply to be staff, Fount would never, like, I mean, what's the point of me being, like, why can't one of your admins be the errand boy? Why does it have to be me? Like, I get that I'm really active there, and I look out for mostly everyone, but I think I deserve, like, no, I wouldn't say that I deserve to be mod. I'd say that it'd be better if I was made a mod. At least moderator. So, maybe after months in April 2026, I got into a really dangerous situation where my grandpa kind of tried to kill me, and he tried to choke me, and before he choked me, he threw me down and kicked me and punched me while I was on a vulnerable position in the ground, and he tried to choke me, and I pulled away and ran as fast as I could away from them. I ran around the lake to a random tree and had passed out for around 20, maybe to 10 minutes at the tree, and I woke up feeling nauseous and dizzy because of the loss of air from being choked. So I called 911, and I can't believe I did this, but I talked to Sage because I was really attached to him, and this isn't even like fake. I actually saw him as a father figure and someone that I look up to. Like, legitimately father in my eyes. Nothing else but father. So, anyways, a few minutes later, my grandpa had found me and tried to bring me home so he could beat me. And I ran until the police pulled up to my location, which really saved my life in time because he could have killed me right then and there at the time. So they talked to him and sent him home, like back to the house with an officer to pull himself together, I think, and like to not like talk to me, not be around me. A bit after, I was loaded up into an ambulance and talked to by paramedics, and the paramedics had asked me what happened, and I explained, and pretty much after I was done talking about what had happened, they asked me if this had happened in the past. I explained what I remembered and another dangerous situation that I was in that was over a single missing assignment for schoolwork. My grandpa got angry at me when I tried to tell him that I did not have the missing assignment and had taken a measuring tape and tried to throw it at me. And then following after, he tried to throw my phone at me to scare me off, but as I ran into the kitchen, he chased after me and grabbed my hair and forced me to get on my school computer, which triggered a panic attack. And I tried to type the password into the computer, but it didn't. I kept failing to, and every time I failed to type it incorrectly, he would punch or slap my arm where I had cut myself, and he got pissed and threw me out of the chair, and then tried to throw the chair at me, but he missed. And then he started picking me up by my hair and slamming my head into the wall behind me, which has resulted in me starting to forget a lot of things soon after. He would taunt me, like, saying, like, why don't you run away and call the cops on me, or why don't you go cry to CPS, and calling me stupid and cursing me out. These situations are what added on to my mental and physical suffering, which, because of how I've been treated, this has led my coping to my trauma to tell my close friends on Discord or at school what had happened to me, or if it was that bad, I would take a blade and cut my arms until I saw blood. When I started doing self-harm, I told the friend group about it because I didn't know how to cope with it and what to do because of how bad it was. I would repetitively relapse, and my very bad trust issues would result in me sending photos of it into the JC whenever I would do it. I really apologize for doing this because I did not know what I was doing was very, very wrong. A while after I was sent to live with my mom and move schools because, which has led in the severe decline in my mental health because of the loss of never being able to see most of my friends ever again, which had made my friend Ivy have a bad episode, which resulted in her overdosing. She had to be sent to a mental hospital and a residential. This made me very, very unstable and brought my mental health to my lowest point. She is one of my most closest friends who I've known since the start of 4th grade. And this happening has made me have suicidal thoughts and even try to attempt, but I would fail every time I ever tried. I would think about my cousins, my friends, and I would stop. There were even times where I would be caught engaging in these acts by my friends. After a few weeks, I was talking in the server before I went to bed. We talked about some kind of funny things. And one I explicitly remember was when Apple said my 500 disease life, which made me giggle. I woke up the next morning to see that I was suddenly banned from the server, which I didn't understand why. But as I was messaging my friends in Sage, as I was getting ready for school out of nowhere, I suddenly felt extremely sick and took time off of school and Discord as well. I had a flu and I would have fever spiking over 100 degrees Fahrenheit, and it would get so bad that I couldn't even open my eyes or move. There was this time where my mother even had to wake me up so I wouldn't get brain damage from how bad it was on me. I think I remember having to go to urgent care the same day and almost having to go to the emergency room My entire body was shutting down from how sick I was, and it was unbearable. But a while after of getting proper care, I got better and recovered. When I returned back, I was blocked by Sage and Fount, as well as Sage remaining in the group chat. I noticed that I still had an alt account in the server, and so I went to check what I had done wrong, and an announcement said I finally banned someone who was making everyone uncomfortable. Please don't feel afraid to reach out. I got really upset and would start questioning what I had done wrong. So the worst thing that came to my mind was I did nothing wrong and should stay on this alt account for a while, which was a bad idea. Shortly after, they found my alt and banned it, which made the situation worse and made it escalate at a really high rate. A ridiculously high rate. A reminder is that I used to make these alts to troll and rage bait my friends for fun, which I later on used to try to get away from Fount and the others, but they were all discovered and DMs with more harassment. Now, at the current time, I've either abandoned them or not used them or deleted them or given them to friends. But Fount had... But let's go back to the time when the situation escalated rapidly. Immediately after, Fount had started coming into my DMs to fully harass me and would block me after sending the messages to me, so I could not stand up for myself. They would say things like, "You're the reason my mental health is so bad. I care for you like I care for my nieces and nephews." But it got to a really bad extent when they said, "By the way, I'm dying, and you ruining my mental health and you talking to me is not helping. I'll be in a grave at the end of the year." And I realized that they had just guilt tripped me after a while, but when they first said that, I couldn't handle it. And I started crying and having a panic attack, which made me relapse and hurt myself because I thought it was truly my fault that Fount was dying. And that I deserved to feel pain and hurt myself. Which was not the case at all. I had vented to my friends about what had happened, and they told me that I cannot run away and hide from this, that they need to give me a link to the server so they can deal with this, which I gave to them because I wanted this to stop. This was ruining me entirely. They had called me on Discord and screen shared what they said in the server, which they all got banned, and it caused Fount to hold a grudge and start sending people to harass me. Someone even came into my DMs and tried to get me mental help, but later on backstabbed me and started harassing me. I would get so overwhelmed from this that I went into Fount's DMs to beg and plead for them to leave me alone and always possible. I would get on TikTok and try to check Sage's profile in case he posted anything on me that would add more false allegations. As well as, when I was in Florida, I figured out that he was following me on my main, which really made me scared, and it led to me blocking him on TikTok. I've gotten accused of faking suicide, taking advantage of vulnerable people, and harassing others. Absolutely none of these are true and have been used against me to put me in extreme danger. I lost my sanity and started to spiral. Now having reoccurring panic attacks that happen mostly every 20 to 30 minutes. Losing sleep, and now I've stopped taking care of myself, like eating, taking showers, and getting dressed in new clothes. I've had a huge fear of being watched while doing so as of today. I tried eating yesterday, but remembered Fount and threw up the food. I decided to hide in my room and eat the snacks I have hidden in my nightstand as a way to eat, which are small things and that aren't really that good for me. I've even had a huge fear of one of them showing up to my door to harass me, and even had started having nightmares about it, which has led me to now having to get therapy and extra monitoring by my parents to make sure that I'm okay, as well as not being allowed on social media or on the internet until my upcoming birthday in August. What has happened has made me very scared to reach out and seek help, but I did. As I talked to my family about what happened, we all agreed that Discord is not going to be used to talk to new people, but used to be talk to my current friends and talk in current servers, as well as blocking Fount and anyone else who has harassed me, and turning off DMs until further notice. I only wish that I'm left alone to recover and heal. Please, just don't go after Fount or anyone mentioned, and please stop doxing me and stalking me. I've been diagnosed with depression, autism, ADHD, anger issues, post-traumatic stress disorder. Which make my life and communication very difficult, and I process things differently than others would, and think differently. My emotions and actions are very hard to control as well. I hope you understand why I'm saying this. I've been told by close friends and family that I'm very, very vulnerable and trusting, and a trusting person, as I have been manipulated and groomed beyond what I can count on my own 10 fingers by multiple people, including Fountain Sage. I get that Sage fictionkins and finds Carls and others as comfort characters, but in reality, anyone's allowed to like a character, find a character attractive. It's not yours. You don't even own it because you didn't make it, and just because you're a fictionkin of that character doesn't make you entitled to treat people like they're criminals for at least simping over the character. And some things that never come to light to people when it's any of the things is that characters like Carl normally get sexualized by their own fandoms. It's not an issue if it's an adult character. If it's a child character, it's an issue. Carl is an adult character. I will not let you control what I find interest, nor what I like because it's your favorite character or an 18-up game. I choose my own actions. And I do. And what I do, I can. Like, in what I do. I can like Renhana without playing the game. I can find comfort in the character. That's it. I used to play. I played Boyfriend to Death for the first time a month ago, but I stopped after the first route. I don't play any of the Boyfriend to Death games at all anymore. And it's my actions that I'm choosing. I'm still a kid. We learn, we sometimes do things. And we need to find out things on our own sometimes. It's not something that you can control. I mean, it is, but curiosity sometimes isn't controllable. Sage also has fictionkins that are me and my friends' comfort characters, and has even used those to drive us away from liking the characters or finding comfort in them because of how scared we are of him coming after us to chase us down. This is one of the screenshots I took upon coming home from school, having multiple notifications from Fount. And I got sent this. By the way, I'm dying, and you ruining my life is not helping at all. You can be manipulative all you want, Nelly, but at the end of the year, I'm going to be in a grave. Stop trying to ruin a life that's already over for me. My form of harassment is looking out for you the same way I would look out for my cousins and nephews. Leave me alone. Oh my gosh, just leave me alone. You haven't stopped. Just stop it, because I don't want to do this anymore. I'm dying, and the last thing I want to deal with is drama when I'm trying to live the best life I can. A person from that server DM'd me and tried to give me mental help, but for their safety, I won't be showing their username and display as well as their profile picture for their own safety. They sent me a friend request. I accepted the DM when they said hello. I was confused when they said, "I'm not here to attack you." I asked who they might have been, and they said, "I'm someone from Bounce server, and I've read the doc." This shows my first confrontation towards Fount. At the time, Sage had leaked false information about Fount. I had come into their DMs after I had enough of them coming to harass me every day. So I confronted them. And after I did, after I stood up for myself, they DM'd me and blocked me shortly after. They told me to shut up and leave them alone, and they were going to figure out if they could do something legal for them to never be able to talk to me again. And that they weren't even going to read what I had to say because I was the one dragging myself down. And that I needed to shut the fuck up and never talk to them again. And told me not to reach out to anyone that they knew, and not even to think about them. I've done so much to get away from Bount, but it sadly failed and backfired on me. So the following are more confrontations and pleas, just so that I could get away from the situation, as well as other screenshots of what has happened. I tried to say that I was a horrible person. And that I did not wish to be part of the situation. And that I was wanting to get better and change this Cookie Run Kingdom community. Following after, they would join servers that I was in that were Cookie Run Kingdom related, or servers that I was in general, just to stalk me and get me banned from them. They would also target me through their bio to make me scared of trying to even confront them about it even more. Fount would also take the situation and my suffering as a joke or something funny, and would talk to server members about me just to mock me, and my friends would send screenshots of what Fount was doing, which deeply hurt me. They said in the screenshot, "Okay, Nelly, shut up and go away. Leave me alone. This is harassment," and cursed the person that said, I won't tell Fount that you're scared of them." And whatever. And they proceeded to do this to me. Um, they said sobbing with crying emojis instead of adding that to the docs. And I got misaged, and they said literally 15 years old out here doing this stuff, and don't you have grades to finish? And Fount said, for real, and that hurt. I had a close friend on that server named Latte, who left the server after I informed him of what Fount was doing, and a while passed, and when Fount got onto Discord, they came into Latte's DMs to directly harass them about it. Latte decided to say Nilly will do something bad if I didn't, which for more explanation was to see if Fount would say back to Latte, to see what Fount would say back to Latte. But I never said that to them, but they sent me this screenshot. So Fount came into their DM, said, why did you leave my server? And look, I don't give a fucking shit what they're doing. I'm not in the wrong. Latte manipulated them, or persuaded them, said, I know that. Nilly told me to. Nilly said they will do something bad if I didn't. A friend of mine, formerly named Silas, had read Fount's doc and came back to inform me that Fount was manipulating and grooming me in tons of different types of ways, but not in a sexual way. So this is what Silas said. I read the document and I'm not surprised about it. I won't be harassing you, not talking to you, because I'm that type of person. I do think it's wrong, but I have done the same, but everyone else can't lie and say they didn't. Fount was also manipulating you in this as well. I asked if she really was. Silas said, yes, certain messages shows you, but there's also different types of grooming, manipulating, etc. What she did was also grooming, by the way. It's not in the sexual way, but also in the harassment way. Grooming just isn't the right term for it. Shortly after, Fount was banned from a server that we used to be in, called Radiance of Truth, for stalking me and harassing me, and harassing others, and so on. Which shortly after Fount was banned from the server, she threw a huge fit that endangered the entire Radiance of Truth server and the owners of the server, including admins and staff. And they said in an announcement of the Vanilla Kingdom server, which my friend sent me this screenshot, they said, everyone, let me make an announcement. Radiance of Truth has decided to go out of their way to side with the abuser of this situation, throwing away the victim's sides of their story. This is not okay. Do not associate with them. They will be added to the docs as well. And they forward this message. Honestly, if they're going to keep you banned from there, they should ban both sides. This is hypocrisy. But Fount would try to join back every time, over and over, when she got kicked. And I got shortly banned. I got banned when they went into the server. I was eating dinner, and I came back upstairs to my room to see that I was banned from the server. I contacted, I made a ticket through my alt account that was in the server in case of an emergency, which in the ticket, they said that it was an exception. The alt account was an exception, and that I wouldn't be getting that much trouble for it. But they would address me in the server as person and not call me by my actual name after I tried to attempt suicide by overdosing on my ADHD medicine, which my friend Vinny, who I told about it, had persuaded me to stop and not do it. It's triggered a panic attack, but I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for them. and if they don't stop me. Thank you so much, Finny, if you're watching this, please. Just, I love you in the friendship kind of way, and you're like a sibling to me, like a mother. This is the thing, and Bounce said I was gonna get things done today, but then the person decided to kind of ruin my day. Fount would even lie and manipulate me to make me feel better by saying that I wasn't a person they would hold a grudge against or hurt or scare. They said, "You're not someone I'd hold a grudge against, but you're just a child, and I'd never intend on hurting you or scaring you." They would manipulate me and try to groom me and make me feel better about myself, but make me feel worse by saying that I wasn't someone they'd hold a grudge against. And I do have proof of me and Latte setting up Fount to rage bait them, which I really don't know why we did this. It's just stupid. If you see here, they said more, and they would delete the message to make it seem like I was actively harassing them, but it was just to rage bait. And I woke up that morning and this showed that I got banned from the server as soon as I fell asleep. And this also shows when my close friend Ivy tried to overdose on her antidepressant medication, which started the downfall in my mental health. They DM'd me on March 26th saying, "I'm seriously considering overdosing. I want this to be my last message to you if I plan on taking action. Thank you so much for being here for me. I love you so much. I don't know if it'll work. I don't know if I'll do it, but just in case." And then a while after, they said, "I went to a mental hospital. I'm going somewhere for a little while. I'm sorry I overdosed my medicine. It could have killed me." And I told them that they should not do that again, which they haven't. And I'm super glad that they haven't. But as I said in the first tab, I've been doxxed and endangered severely, which is why I'm not allowed on social media. Because of this situation, I've gotten doxxed and endangered in many horrible ways, beyond the level of monstrosity, like my in real life name, my IP, my home addresses, and my face, and so on. When this happened, that's what started my fear of the harassers showing up to my doorstep at my new home where I lived with my mother and my dad. I got doxxed by tons of people because of Fount and the others involved, as well as my home life, which I unfortunately had to explain in this talk because of Sage. A very important reminder that Sage has been known to leak and spread things like home lives, ages, and etc. I did get contacted by Fount one time. They briefly discussed that Sage had told multiple people about Fount's home situation and had falsely spread false ages and so on. I was warned by multiple people who told me of Sage and his horrible background towards the people who warned me, which I now want to apologize for not listening to you before, and thank you for looking out for me. As of other things, I'd like to be informed immediately if Sage leaks more about my home life and about my friends and their situation. Please don't feel afraid to tell me, for this is an extremely important matter. Right here shows what Fount has told me and should not be ignored. So, Sage told me that Fount was 20 years old a while before all this happened, and Fount told me, before I said that, Fount told me someone reached out and told to me that Sage had told people about my home situation. Sage told me you're a 20-year-old or whatever, and Fount said, "I don't share my age online." I said, good, that's good. And then I got really pissed once I read this message right here and said, oh, what the hell? Okay, bro, he cannot be doing that. You need to confront him now. Sage would start leaking things about my friend's situation as well. I very much recommend that if you see him in Fount's server or in any other servers, avoid him and don't talk to him for your own safety. And possibly, if you are really close with him and told him a bunch of personal stuff, confront him and then block him. He is not a good person and has endangered me in a very horrible way. Making me, and also twisting my friend's suicide attempt and my mental health by also, he's done lots of horrible things to me and my friends, and has done lots of horrible things to Fount and other people. I've seen at least over 10 people, maybe more than 10 people, come to me and or talk about Sage in a really negative way, which I now understand why, because of the way he's treated people. He vented to me one time about how he used to be a horrible person in the past, but I don't think anything has really changed that much. It's hurt me a lot to know that I trusted him, that I thought that he was my friend, that I saw him as a father figure. No, but he really talked behind my back and made this situation happen. I don't feel safe anymore because of him. It hurts to feel this way. It hurts to know what he's done. It's just, I just can't. But here is a link to my main document that has more explanation and all the screenshots of the situation I currently have. This doc right here and this doc right here will be posted on all my socials very soon, once me and my dad look over it and make sure that I haven't repeated anything way too much. And yeah, this doc shows screenshots of what Fount and what has happened, what Fount and Sage have sent in my DMs. I will update this doc in the main doc as soon as I migrate all of the screenshots here into another tab, which I'm pretty sure I've done already. But I'll keep this doc updated in case anything happens. I was very, very unstable when I made the main doc, so I might seem very weird in the main one, and some stuff may be confusing, which I deeply apologize for. I most likely won't be getting on Discord ever again because of this and the severe endangerment of my safety. I'm so sorry that this has happened, and to those who have been affected very deeply, I hope that things get better for you. I hope that you heal and recover from this. This was not something that was intended to happen. This is not something that I would do. I wouldn't go out of my way to harass people. I never do that. That's bad. It hurts when people look at me and say this to me. But I did make a tab here to brighten up the mood and brighten up the day. And also make sure to wish me a happy early birthday, as my birthday's coming up on August 21st. And, also, something funny that I found in my screenshots. My old partner had said yards instead of yas on accident because of their stupid autocorrect, and it was really funny. And also, how did this happen? How did Flame and Wembu become best friends? And how did Parrot not become best friends with Wembu? Like, what? But, yeah, this is so weird and funny, and it's just me. I feel more like myself when I act like this. It's just so it's just so funny. I also love to look at my wall because this is my bedroom wall, and I'm currently in my bedroom. I have a ton of bracelets hanging here. They kind of look like flowers. I have a little head that rocks like side to side. It's like it has like a tuft of hair. It's like pink with little pigtails like Romies from Cash Teeny Ping. You got the triple Baka trio, Party Noob, Sprout, Marker, Wembu, Spoke, Saps, an ice cream portrait that I painted, Percy Jackson, the unstable like protagonist, Spoke, me as Parrot, Pure Vanilla Cookie, and a random 3-face. And also, Egg-chan, why do you keep blushing like that? I made these heads, and yes, you can see through them, but the Egg-chan one's hard to see through since I ran out of whatever this stuff is. But yeah, I normally will probably wear this all the time now. And some art that I did, like the Spoke art that's on my wall over there. The Unstable Trio. This is like close up. And then I have some online art that I did, like this Spoke hoodie design, Weefies, and then I have like a bunny. I think that's supposed to be Lamedy or something. I don't know who that is. I have me holding Wembu and him squirming around and being very angry. You have Mesmerizer Teto, which I think I shaded pretty well. I'm not gonna lie. And then Animal Hospital, I didn't like do any like rendering or shading. I just used Bucket and drew stuff. And then my most favorite art ever to have been, well, not my most favorite art, but this is the first time I've done online art this well. Like, you can see my other online art here. It's not really that good. It's like all like chibi kawaii stuff. And then you see this, and oh my god. It's so much more detailed. And I decided to set it as I decided to set it as my Google profile picture. So yeah, that's it for everything, and I hope I can be forgiven near time future, that the situation simmers down, goes away, or whatever. And yeah, so bye.